Hi, baby.
Hey, sweetheart. Well, as you guys can see, the band is back together. Dexter's asleep in the back seat right now, so he's had a rough couple days of trail rides, so he's tired. But we are back together after 2 months apart. We saw each other last on the Sunday leaving Easter Jeep Safari.
Yes, so long ago.
So since then, what have you been up to?
I don't even remember. Geez. Like school, it was the end of the school year, so that's always like super busy for me. I came up and did a pre-run for this event last weekend. There was what was the other event that I did?
It's crazy. It's one of the largest overland events.
I did Overland.
She's lucky she's got me around, I tell you.
There's been a lot. Okay,
It's been a
since
lot.
you and I have met, we have been to so many events and we have
Yep.
covered so many thousands of miles. So yes, I did Overland Expo West. That was a really, really cool event. That was my first time going to that. So yeah. Oh, and then I went to Nevada twice.
You went to Nevada twice
I
to support Team Bucket List.
Yeah, for the Trail Hero Expedition too.
Yep.
So there was a lot that happened.
It's been a busy couple months. So
Yeah.
I got back from Easter Jeep Safari, went to Daytona Jeep Beach to hang out with my Shoreline family down there.
Yep.
It was kind of a fast and the furious trip for me, and then spent a couple days with my parents down there, and then headed back up and started preparing the move.
Ugh.
And that was why I didn't end up at Overland West like I'd hoped. I had to pack out the house and get it on the market and get everything ready. And so this is Sunday. I have been on the move for a full week now. Left last Sunday night, North Carolina at 9 p.m. and got into Temecula, California at 5:30 in the morning on Wednesday morning, Temecula time. So we didn't sleep a lot on that drive. It was a fast 2,600 miles. And then we slept a little bit that day, had tacos, and got up and came out here to Big Bear the next day.
Yep.
So I've officially been in California for like 4 days now, and
That is
loving
wild.
it.
That's
So
wild.
this weekend we were trail guides for Jeep Jamboree Big Bear. Right, Jeep Jamboree Big Bear is an annual event. Sponsored, of course, well, it's run by Jeep Jamboree, sponsored locally by Rebel Off-Road. Bond and the crew at Rebel Off-Road put on a great event.
Yeah.
And so we have about 100 participants and 30-ish trail guides that help keep everything in check, right? So you got about, 8 or 10 groups. Each group's got, 3 trail guides, a trail boss, a mid-gunner, and a tail gunner.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent our weekend working as trail guides up here and enjoying the heck out of it. It's Sunday. We are on Smarts Ranch Road Trail right now.
Yeah.
Trails Off-Road has this as a 3 rated trail. It's an easy trail. It's a beautiful trail. It takes you right down through from Big Bear down into the valley.
Down into Pioneer Town.
Down into Pioneer Town. It goes through a transition zone. So we have Joshua trees and pine trees, and it's just absolutely a beautiful area. So we've enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. All right. So this is our second year doing the Jeep Jamboree together.
Second year doing Jeep Jamboree together.
What were some of your highlights you would say from this year versus like last year? How was it different?
Well, this year I knew the other trail guides because I'd already done an event with them. So that's one positive. I know the crew at Rebel very well at this point. One of our trail guides in our group was their actual shop manager, Rich, and he is an absolutely phenomenal guy. Great Jeeper, great build. He is a wealth of knowledge on Jeep things. And he's just a very positive guy to be around. And for me this year, it was, I don't know, I felt like I had a little bit more ownership in it. I love to teach things. I like to teach and coach. And we are basically trail guides for one of the easier groups, you could call it the beginner group, but that's a bad word to use because some of these guys have had their Jeeps, guys and gals have had their Jeeps for a while, but they haven't had the opportunity to get out and be taught some of the basics.
Like we are lucky to live in a place where we have trails so accessible to us. So some of them just don't live in a place where they have a lot of trails nearby too. So this is kind of like their highlight.
We live in a place.
We do.
I know, it's official now. I know, we're still a little bit giddy about this being like the official first week of being together for kind of good. Now these guys and gals come out and you know, they really sponge up knowledge, and they ask a lot of questions on the radio, and they have amazing attitudes. We had 2 different Jeeps in our group that were repeat offenders from last year.
Yeah.
And
they chose to come with us again. That was really cool.
Yeah, they had such a good time that they were like, "No, we want to do," and it's essentially the same trails with the same guides because they just really enjoyed it. And
which is why we're wearing our cool. If you're wondering why we're wearing
that's
our,
why we got our orange bandanas on. We were Team Orange.
We were.
A great weekend, a great event. There were some really good sponsors. Dennis, who's the TerraFlex guy. He put in so much work, and even as a sponsor, you know, and sometimes sponsors can kind of sit back and just let things happen and bask in the glory of being a sponsor of an event.
He was a trail guide this year too,
he was
he
was a trail guide. He was a sponsor. He worked the event. TerraFlex donated the donuts and the coffee for the mornings.
Some cool prizes.
And on top of that, Dennis is just a funny guy, right?
Yes.
Like, you talk about somebody that is just funny and has a great attitude in the off-road community. So, you know, that was great to see. Warren's a sponsor of this event. You know, they provide some swag and some things for the trail guides. We got, you know, gloves, like winch gloves and things like that. And Mickey Thompson was out here for the event as well. So, you know, they were a big sponsor this year. So it was just a good time. You know, there's going to be more to follow. We're putting together an actual video of the trails themselves and some of the adventures that we did. But when April and I woke up this morning and we decided to do a couple more trails on the way out, we decided to just kind of say, hey, this is us. We're back together. And, you know, hopefully we're going to see a lot more content on the channel that's jointly again instead of, you know, back and forth across the country.
Yeah, I know. What was your favorite moment from this weekend?
Favorite moment from this weekend. So one of the couples that was with us last year that came back this year, he drove most of the time last year, and she was driving a lot more this year. And I was spotting. I did a lot of the spotting for our group, and we were bringing them down, and there was a very specific point when you knew that you could put a Jeep into a Jeep Wave, right? So there was a hole right by a rock, and you knew that you were going to be able to lift up that rear passenger tire about 2 feet up in the air and just have it floating in the air. And she drove down this hill, and I guided her down this hill, and they're a really fun couple, and they have great attitudes. They were happy to see us. We were happy to see them. And she was driving, and so I put her right in that hole so that her back tire popped right up in the air, and she was woohoo, you know. And to see the difference from last year to this year, the confidence, you know, that's what it's about, right? That is what Jeep Jamboree is about, is seeing those people go, yes, I got this. You know?
That was cool. I think my favorite moment, and maybe this isn't, but the one that really sticks with me is, like, we had a little hiccup yesterday in our trail plan.
Yeah.
And we ended up it was just a hot mess for a minute, as it happens when you're out on trails and you're leading lots of groups and lots of groups are out in the same area at the same time. Things happen.
Yep.
And you have to be adaptable. What is it that they were kind of saying? You kind of have to shift. You have to pivot. And so we did that yesterday. And there's a little place up here called the Playground that I had been up with a couple of groups in previous years, and we always stopped at the playground, but we have never done it with our
group
event. And so yesterday we just threw it out there. We're like, okay, we have to shift. And so we just went to this place called the Playground, and immediately you drove right up to the very top. You're like, hey, can we go up there? And we did, and we ended up on this really high lookout point.
Yep.
And just looking down over all this red dirt and this, like, just all these little
trails and mounds and things that people can go up and practice being off camber.
Yeah.
And
we came over the radio and we're like, hey guys, all right, we're going to spend some time here. Go have fun.
Have fun.
As I'm standing up there, I get out and I'm just looking down, and you see all the Jeeps kind of spread out, and you just start seeing them all just go different directions. And like, passengers got out of cars and they spotted each other and they tried some things, and just
they were laughing over the radio.
They were.
Like, having a really good time. We even had somebody get high centered on one of those mounds and we got to winch them off, which is, you know, is in the easier group, we don't get to winch, really, right? So the opportunity to be like, hey, everybody stop. If you're nearby, take a look. You know, I'm going to winch this guy off this little mound, and, you know, this is how we're going to winch safely. This is how we're going to do it correctly, and, you know, here we go. And so that was a really good time.
I think that was, like, my favorite moment, just seeing them get out and spot each other. and just seeing them try things. They're like, oh, you think I can do that? Yeah, you can do that.
You can do that.
And it was in a safe environment that
Yep.
where they knew if anything happened, like we were here to help. And
Yep.
there's also that great mound where we were able, I'm like, hey, this is a great photo spot. We had beautiful clouds. And I was like,
Yep.
all right, who wants like the shot? And so we just had everyone come over the mound and get some cool shots too. So
Yeah, it was a good time. And then, you know, we had our closeout dinner last night. Everything was done through the Elks Lodge here in Big Bear. Elks Lodge took great care of us, as they have every year. They cook great food, and they provide a great service for us, and it's a good venue for everything to happen. And so great closeout dinner with the team that we were running with all weekend. And you know, sometimes it's hard to say goodbye, and you talk to these people and you're like, hey, outside of Jeep Jamboree, we want to get with you this fall, this winter, and go run a couple trails. And you know, if we'll run things that you're comfortable with, and you know, work on getting, you know, you some fun. But in general, you're just a fun couple. We want to go play with you.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was a good time. And then all the trail guides sit down afterwards, and we kind of talk about, you know, ways that next year can be better. With the Jeep Jamboree guys in the room. And, you know, so that's always good for people to know that the input they give us on their surveys and everything, it actually goes into making the event a better event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to go. This will be my third time on this trail in the last 8 days, but it's a beautiful trail. And so we just decided today, instead of just heading straight down the mountain, we're going to go down the back way and land in Pioneer Town, which is also one of my favorite spots.
Of course. Thanks for tuning in. You know, if you're liking what you see out of our content, you know, it's very varied. You never know what you're going to get with our stuff. It all involves the off-road community in some way, shape, or form. Some's Jeep specific, some's camping, some's event specific. But, you know, if you enjoy it, please, you know, leave us a comment, subscribe, share if you're willing to. We're, you know, as I always say, we're getting going. We're learning this as we go. We're having a blast doing it together. And with that, y'all be cool.